My name is Max, founder and CEO of Libera. I'm joined here in Hong Kong by Heiko, our head of sales, and Ahmed, our CTO. It's great to tell you today about our mission, which is to make $1 trillion of invisible commerce visible. So let me explain what I mean by that. So around the world today, there are easily, excluding India, 3 billion consumers that are buying almost all of their daily and weekly items in small mom and pop shops. This is how the economy really works. These mom and pop shops employ about a third of the labor force in countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Africa, and so on. There's almost no data collection from these micro nano merchants that power the global economy in the South. But smartphones have gone out to everybody, even in second-tier cities, even in villages. Everybody has the smartphones. Everybody has WhatsApp, and increasingly more and more people have Libera. So what we do, the problem that we solve is to allow the world's largest supply chains by volume, which are consumer packaged goods multinationals, to know who is buying their product. They do not know this today. They know it in Hong Kong, they know it in New York, and they do not know it in Jakarta. There are layers of invisibility that separate Nestlé, Mondelez, Unilever, P&G, and also Asian brands from these tens of millions of small stores. So we want to cut straight through those layers of invisibility and help those big brands to solve that problem so they can make more of the right stuff and less of the wrong stuff, and solve hundreds of billions of dollars of lost sales because they don't have the right product on the shelf. So our solution is actually very simple. We're the first company to use computer vision and a large vision model to really capture what is on the shelf, to scan anything that's in the store, and to reward the merchants themselves for sharing that information. This allows us to make almost $1 trillion of invisible commerce visible, and to increase the sales of the corporate brands who now can know exactly what products are missing so that they can replenish immediately. So this is working today with companies like Nestlé, Unilever, and Kalbe Group in Indonesia. We're expanding into Malaysia and Middle East very rapidly. We use this information to solve a very simple problem. The brands can see what is selling and what has sold and needs to be replenished, and trigger those sales right back into the supply chain. It works real time, and we're able to do this for tens of thousands of stores at a time, rolling out to over 100,000 stores right now for very large consumer goods brands in Indonesia, and process this so that the sales managers and the management teams can see what's happening across an entire country. We also enable them to do something they really want to do that you would think is possible, but it's very difficult in emerging markets. And that's to do nationwide promotions, to get vouchers and coupons digitally in the hands of millions of consumers, to distribute those digital vouchers and understand if they've been redeemed promptly and properly. And that allows us to also solve a big problem for the merchants themselves. Not only can we pay the merchants for their data and help them monetize an asset that they've had at their fingertips and been unable to get cash from, but we allow them to get paid for these vouchers and redemptions much more quickly, and allow them to be paid for displaying product and doing all the things that the big brands want them to do. So this is growing very, very quickly, but it's powered by a different type of AI than a lot of us are familiar with. A lot of us know ChatGPT and OpenAI, and we know what large language models are. But what we're building at Libera is really different. It's utilizing newer technology around images and visualization. It's the first large vision model for retail, trained on emerging market data. And the large vision model, although LLMs came out almost 10 years ago, as you can see on this chat, the large vision models are much newer. It was much more recently that academic researchers around machine learning and artificial intelligence started to understand how images could be used to do the same thing as analyzing languages. And that really puts us at the forefront, really on the cutting edge of this. We're the first company to build the large vision model to enable this type of amazing AI to empower anyone that can contribute images to the model to be rewarded for those inputs, and to ultimately be the first company that leverages the power of images and vision as it starts to become more powerful than text and language itself to do amazing things. And what we're going to do at Libera is enable any merchant on planet Earth to do a stock take in 5 to 10 seconds, right? And once we've done that with crowdsourcing of the images, beyond the image base we already have today, we will be able to cascade that visibility to any consumer goods brand much more efficiently than they're accessing it even today with Libera. So this is the key principles. With the Libera model, we go out and we own this data. Who has the data in Indonesia for retail activity? Is it the big corporate retail chains like Carrefour or Walmart? No, it's not. It's 4 million small merchants. So will they sell us their data? Yes, they are. They are giving us their data today and it goes on our balance sheet. You can't do that in the US. You can't go to Walmart and say, give us your retail data. Not for any amount of tokens, not for any amount of cash. So with the Libera model, we're able to really bring this data onto our balance sheet. And we're able then to train RA models on specific data to the domains we need to exploit and make more efficient, which is Indonesian data, Southeast Asia data, South Asia data, etc. Now, crowdsourcing will give us even more power, and I'm going to come back to that and how impactful it will be in terms of our revenue growth and helping the brands. But already today, we're able to show that these models can learn. We can pick up ice cream, we can pick up anything in the store, we can pick up handwritten Arabic receipts, we can pick up any type of receipt scan, and we'll soon be able to do fresh. Once we can do fresh, we can scan anything in any store in 5 to 10 seconds. So right now, in Indonesia, for example, we're working off of about 40,000 images. And that number of images in the retail environment allows us to have $5 million ARR in committed revenue from brands that want to use our product. This is a growing number. Now, the way the brands use our product today is they take merchandisers, people that have been hired, labor force, to go out and count products on the shelves. And instead of doing it manually and looking at image by image, they're now using Libera to process thousands of images at the same time, literally in seconds. Now, with the Libera token, we're going to crowdsource up to 3 million total images in a country like Indonesia. And that will allow us to bypass the merchandisers, the 400,000 employed merchandisers in Indonesia. We will bypass a lot of the merchants to self-merchandise, meaning we'll crowdsource, bring the images in, we'll have visibility on any product in Indonesia and other countries so that the brands can see that. They can access the Libera platform. The merchants will be compensated and get a 25% of that data sale. And the brands will be able to achieve what they want without hiring 400,000 people. Pretty amazing. But as we've gone out and understood how we can help the profit margins of the brands and build a more sustainable supply chain, we've also spent a lot of time with the merchants in different countries. And one of the things that I noticed early on was that the backbone of the retail economy in these countries is usually mom and pop shops, a little bit emphasis on the mom, particularly in Southeast Asia, because it's mostly women running these stores. And a lot of times there's 2 or 3 kids running around me as I'm interviewing these merchants, trying to understand their business. And what we realized very quickly is that they're operating on very slim margins and supporting a lot of families. Their margins are about $4,000 top line, the margin 10%. So they're taking home about $400 or less to feed a family of 3 or 4. Now, what we can do is buy their data, and we can also share a lot of the insights that we're sharing with the brands back to the merchants themselves. So this allows us to improve their earnings as well. So what was $300, $400 becomes $600 or $800 with improved inventory, having more of the right product that's going to sell, access to the right promotions, and data income. And that's before we open up avenues to financing and credit for those stores. So this is a big part of our mission, is not just to build a valuable data company, but to do what we call doubling the mom EBIT for over 1 million stores. Using the Libera large vision model to give superior insights to everybody in the supply chain, to the world's largest brands and the world's smallest merchants, and less waste and more profit for everybody in the world's largest supply chains by volume. So this started in Indonesia. It's an exciting market that I love. I've worked there before, I had companies. It's a great time to do business in Indonesia. But this is not an Indonesia problem. This is an emerging market problem that we're working on solving very rapidly. And the more we get in with the multinational customers, which is where we hang our hat, the more they're taking us around the world. They're taking us in, we've got one taking us into Egypt. And then after Egypt, they want to take us into 10 more countries. We've got an opportunity in Latin America, which should take us into 30 countries and play 1 million stores. We've got opportunities in Africa. We've got opportunities in the Middle East. And this is why we're raising to expand the solution. We could just hang our hat on Indonesia and build a really fantastic, profitable company. It's not our mission. We think we've got about 2 to 3 years to build an amazing AI product powered by the first large vision model for retail. And now's the time to do it, because these are the guys that are buying. We're signing new contracts, entering into new agreements almost every day. We've got $2 billion Indonesian Kalbe Group, the world's largest consumer packaged goods company in the world, which is Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Nestlé, Colgate, Friesel and Campina, Beiersdorf, Abbott Nutrition, you name it. Every consumer packaged goods company that wants to sell to half the world's population in emerging markets needs the Libera solution. So that's why we're working to augment this solution, deploy it for them, get more and more stores on board. And we've got the demand. All the brands need this data. We need to supply them with that data. And that's our challenge today, to raise the capital, to scale, to make this a massive opportunity that impacts the world, and to keep an advantage over the competition. Because who are the competition? It's not just the Southeast Asia startups that are looking at retail. It's not just the Grossaris and the Bukawaros of the world. It's not just the multinational companies that are in retail analytics that can't do emerging markets very well now, but they might figure it out. That's Nielsen's phone. We're ahead of them right now. We've got better computer vision. We've got micro incentives. We own the data. We focus on these markets. We're doing well in them. These guys are the next competition. And OpenAI, that are focused on LLMs right now, that are starting to get into vision analytics, but they're not in markets that involve sales to 3 or 4 billion people yet. So we've got 2 to 3 years to maintain our advantage, to exploit it, and to become a multi-billion-dollar company that positively impacts the lives of millions. So this is my second startup. I've spent my entire career, most of it in this city, actually, which is great to be back in. When I was running the retail consumer sector at DHL, I founded my first startup, OpenPort, where we did a Series A here in Hong Kong. We solved logistics problems with blockchain in India, in Indonesia, in Philippines for all of these same brands. And now we're solving a problem which is at least 100 times, 1,000 times bigger, which is understanding what products are selling so you can orchestrate the entire supply chain. Tremendously proud of our CTO, Ahmed, Oxford graduate. He and I worked at the same AI company a few years back in London, and where we learned about how powerful this tech could be. We do a project with Nestlé in Canada, but then we go to Indonesia, and we just can't do the same project because we can't get the sales data. What an amazing opportunity that we found, and we're doing innovative things in our Cambridge, England AI hub every day. Fantastic head of sales, Heiko, who's here in the room, bootstrapped a tremendous business selling to all the big corporates, and he's helped us to really understand exactly how to package this so we sell into the marketing budgets of the brands. Everything that we do for them is an immediate revenue increase. So it's very easy for them to sign up to new deals for us. There's very little cost. It's all about growth and efficiency. We started the company in Hong Kong, actually, with an investment from Animoca Brands. That was a few years back, working really on raw data. Really excited once we got into the program with the Singularity DAO, really raised our whole private round, put a lot of that into the tech and the AI, which is just going gangbusters. Great to have our partnership now with DNA. We acquired Heiko's company recently, signed a new deal that we did a press release about in Malaysia. It takes us into 10 countries and have more and more relationships with the multinationals coming on board as well. So for the next 6 months, we're going to prove pre-TGE the tokenized crowdsourcing. We're doing on-chain rewards. We're going to show that we can get the images from merchants, that they can self-merchandise. We can bypass the hundreds of thousands of merchandisers to create a vastly more efficient and impactful economy. We're going to do a successful TGE. We're going to go from 110,000 stores to over 200,000. We're going to go to 5 million consumers. That number we're going to go past because we just signed the Malaysia deal that gives us 4 million more consumers. We're going to go past 10 million consumers We're going to get the large vision model completely in operation, even including fresh. And we're going to measure and sustain our commitment to delivering fantastic social impact to millions of retail brands around the world. And ultimately, we're going to take this company to well over 2 billion global revenues. We're raising $5 million to build the leading impact AI company for global retail. We need to deploy this tech stack around the world, build a world-class brand, and meet the demand. We need to meet the demand that we have from multinational corporations that are buying from us right now. So if you want to join in the team and be part of meeting the demand and building a fantastic multi-billion-dollar data company that helps millions of people, let me know, and certainly sign up on Deal Desk and be happy to invest there. Any questions?